We have these complex devices, smartphones, computers, satellites. We launch rockets to the moon. And yet none of the technology that's involved in those miraculous devices can hold a candle to the complexities of the human brain. It is the central processing unit of the most complex biological machine, in fact, of any machine that we can dream up. And today, we're going to talk about all of the things that can happen when that central processing unit becomes damaged. So if we approach this from the perspective of a personal injury lawyer, these cases are just as complicated as the brain itself. An understanding of all of the consequences of a brain injury is acutely important to successfully litigating a brain injury case. You need neurologists, neuroscientists, radiologists to investigate what's happening with your brain. You may need tests like a functional MRI or a PET scan. These are expensive tests. These are expensive experts, but you need people to find out what's happened to you, because maybe it's not just that you've gotten older and changed. It could be because you've suffered what you've probably heard in the media called a mild traumatic brain injury. It's usually a family member who notices that there's been a difference. There's something not right. And a lot of times they can't put their finger on it. And they'll come to an attorney and say, is there something not right about my loved one? And we know the right questions to ask. And so we'll start digging around and saying, well, was there an event that occurred? Was there a car accident where you thought maybe movement or head trauma? Was there exposure to some chemical? What doctors have you seen? We're looking at all the different factors that could have occurred. Now, sometimes there's an innocent explanation, and sometimes there is someone else who's responsible. And it's our job to find out if there is someone else responsible to hold them accountable. You can retrain parts of your brain to do the things that other parts used to do. Now, it may not be perfect. It may not be exactly what it was before, but there's always hope. The brain is very what we call elastic. It can recover. In order to get that done, you need the right people with the right training and the right resources to get those people with that training to even have a chance at that kind of recovery. So every time you hear one of those stories, he had to learn how to walk again. She had to learn how to talk again. There's a team of medical professionals and rehabilitation specialists behind that story. If we can hold someone accountable for the harm that you or your family member has suffered, then we stand a good chance of getting you the resources that you need to have access to those people, the best and the brightest. Why do you deserve any less? Most times, those resources that I just spoke of come from insurance companies. Insurance companies are not in the business of handing out money. It's actually the opposite business model. They're in the business of collecting premiums and not paying out any money. That's how they're profitable. Those are the kinds of things that an experienced medical litigation attorney is aware of, can plan for, can hire experts to calculate, and to hold an insurance company accountable for the harm that's been done. Because it's not just about the past medical expenses. It's not just about all the past trauma. It's about all the changes in your life that you're going to be experiencing. Because there's a big difference between living and thriving, where you're pursuing happiness, you're pursuing goals, is much different than just surviving. There's a lot of people who can get you enough to survive. There's very few people who can get you your life back.